Hello students, in last class we saw this program. This program is there to show you a special kind of function, a function with return. Although there is no argument, a function with return. This particular function show how a return type function could be made to return the data to the caller function, and then that data which is returned by this function can be further used for another calculations. So if you want to learn this program, you must see the last video. It is explained properly. In this class, we'll see a new aspect in this session. Today we'll see a function with return as well as with argument, and we'll also try to see that how more than one classes can be made in a single program. So let us begin our journey. So let us give a name. First of all, we should import java.util.asterisk. Why we are doing this? We look, once again, let me tell you, Java is a package, util is a sub package, and this package, util package, contains a lot of classes. And what does the class contain? Class contain different functions that we use in our program. One of the function is scanner. This is not function, this is a class. So this scanner class contains lot of functions which helps us in inputting different type of data, like next int, next long, next float, next double, simply next, or next line. These all are various functions which are defined in this scanner class. So we can write import in this way, or we can write asterisk here. What does this asterisk tells us? This simply tells everything. Asterisk means everything. Now what everything means? This means that whatever classes are there in util package, whichever any number of classes, although scanner is just one of the class in that, but there are a lot many other classes in this util package. So with asterisk, we are importing all the classes which are there in util package, and we could use not only the functions of a scanner class, we can use all other classes. If you need to know how many classes are there in util package, you can easily find it in Google. So here I just told you the use of asterisk and the use of import. Why we are using import? We are using import because we want to use the functions in those classes, those util package. As many functions are there, we can use it there in our program. But in our program, we just need to use the functions which are there in a scanner class. So let's make one class. Class functions. Why I have given this name? There is a reason behind. New version of Notepad. So let us make a function that will return an integer, and let us do the same thing, area of rectangle. And this time in our previous program, we hadn't given any argument, but here we'll give arguments also. In the previous video, we have seen how we can use arguments, but in this uh, class, we'll see both the things, the return as well as the argument. And if you have a problem in understanding this, you may watch the previous videos. So let us give two integer arguments. One is length, another is breadth. These are called formal parameters. Another is actual parameter. We'll see in this program later. Now what? Look. New version of Notepad is really nice. So what we have to do, we have to find the area of rectangle. We do not need to input the length and breadth because we will get the length and breadth through these parameters. So we just need to make a variable AR which will have the product of length and breadth. This much. Then although we can output it, although let us output it also. System initialize, and then return AR. One function we have made. Let us make another function, a static float. Let us make float simple interest SI. I am giving the name of function. We want to calculate simple interest. Now why we have given float? Because interest comes in float point, in numbers point. So what data is needed? It need principal, rate and time. So float P, float R, and let us give int. Time will be in 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. We don't want time in 2.5 year, 1.5 year. ऐसा नहीं चाहते. Although if you wish, then you also should give it like float, but I just want to show you the variations. Means a function can contain all the mixture of data types. And yes, remember, we don't have to put the terminator here because we don't want to terminate it here. We are just defining a function. It will not be terminated here. Now the function begins. Now what? We need to calculate the simple interest. So let us make a float variable sim equals what? Very simple. P into R into T by 100. This is the universal formula for getting the simple interest. So final amount will be, so let us not write the final amount here. Let us get the return sim. Sim is the name of variable and the name of function is SI. Now you might be wondering, sir, only 2-letter name, will it be fine? Okay, no problem at all. You can give 1-letter name function also. और वेरिएबल नेम यू हैव गिवन ऑफ 3-letter, कोई दिक्कत नहीं बच्चे, इससे कोई मतलब नहीं है, बस वैलिड वेरिएबल होना चाहिए. द आइडेंटिफायर, this is also identifier, this is also identifier. Identifier means the name through which we identify different things, variables or function name or class name or object name, all these are so simple. Here we are outputting, but in this function we are not outputting anything, we are simply getting it. So let us not make the video lengthy. So let us have only 2 functions, and this both of the function of what kind of functions they are. This also contains return as well as argument. This also contains return as well as argument. And let us compare this program with the previous one. This function only contains return, but the argument part is empty. So this does not contain any argument. Okay. So let us close the class also. Now let us make another class. Can we make another? Of course we can make. The class operational class. Here I have given the name of class where we will have the operation. And this class will have public static void main. Okay. We can have more functions other than main function. Normal functions could be there also in this class OPR, but let us make it. Let's call the function. Okay. First of all, we'll try to call a function in a different way. I'll show you how these things can be done. AOR. Look how we have called this in the last. AOR simply, and G1 is will receive the this. So simply we have done this. But what we'll do in this? Let us see. Since this function is returning something, so let us have a variable AOR. And what kind of function? In this case, AOR is having 2 arguments. So let us give 2 integer data. 5 and 6. Okay. And let us save it. It may have problem, but I'll tell you how to solve this problem. So OPR should be the name of class because this is operational class. Any name you can give, but the function having the main function in which the main function is there, it is better to give that class name as the file name. Java. Save it. Now let's go to the command prompt and let's see. Let's see this. Have to go to drive. Java C O P R dot Java. Oh my god. Now this is another thing that you can learn. I have freshly installed my system and this time it's showing that I don't have Java in my very great thing happened for you. And now you can learn how you can configure Java from the very beginning. So now I'll show you how to configure it from the very beginning. So from very beginning means I'll download the Java and I'll install it and I'll do everything in front of you. Download Java. Oracle.com site, go to the site and Java Standard Edition 14. Okay, download Java JDK. Click it. It took you here. Now you find a product for you. This is for Linux. For Mac means Apple computers. For Apple. Now we have Windows 64. So this is the required thing. Now how can we know that which version of Windows we do have? So you just press Window plus pause key in the keyboard. Window plus pause. Pause button is there in the keyboard. Pause button. Window के साथ pause दबाओ ये. Now here you can find Windows 10 is there, 2019. This processor, the RAM, and all. This is the type of operating. 64-bit. From here we can come to know which version is this. Now we need to download this JDK. Now depend upon the sites, I mean internet connectivity speed. It's downloading. Now internet is not that good, but it's okay. Meanwhile, it is doing or it is downloading it. Let's see something else. Minimize it. It will take some time. 2 minutes, I think it may take. Okay. So let us discuss this. Whenever this happens, this simply means that you don't have Java installed in your system. So what you need to do, you need to compile it, and you need to install Java. Now, how to install Java? If you have Java already in your pen drive or somewhere, if it is stored, although I have stored it, but no, since it is freshly downloaded, so I don't think that the downloaded file. But I although have kept it the previous version, but now I'm downloading the fresh latest one, and let us check it how much. Oh, it's working nicely. We have 10 minutes. So let us discuss the program. Meanwhile, this is doing so. Where is the program? Here is the program. Look how this will work. I have made functions. I have made 2 functions in one class, and now I want to use these functions in another class. And I have called this way. I have called this in this way, but I'm still telling you there will be a problem. But I just want to show you something. Since we have called this function the same way in our previous program, this is our previous program. Look, simply a variable and the name of function. In the earlier case, we didn't have any arguments, so we do not need to provide any argument. And this function was called, and everything from inputting to everything was doing in this function and returning this. But in this case, we need to learn how, use the arguments. So this is how written, and what will happen that this 5 and 6 are called the actual parameter. Yes, actual parameter. what will happen? This 5 will be transferred to L. The value of L will become 5 and the value of B will become 6, or any value that you'll give here. And then what will happen? When it will be called, this will be passed by value. The value will be passed to L, and the value of 6, this value will be passed to B. And then L and B has got the value 5 into 6. The product will be 30 and will be stored in AR, and this will be outputted. Area is 30 meters square or centimeters square or inches square or feet square, whatever is the unit. And then it is returning. And the value of AR, which is 30, will be returned back to the value R or R. And then we can further use this value R for any other purpose. So let us check once. It's now over. Now just double click it. This is the downloaded file. It will ask you, just press yes. Next, let it be in this folder, C drive, program files, Java, JDK. This is the folder where this thing is going to be installed. Next. Now, depending on the speed of your system, this will take time. So it's arranging the things for you. And we can just close these things. These things, work is done. So it's installing Java. All those who are attending this class are very fortunate that you're watching this happening in front of you, because most of you still have some problem in how to configure it. Means you have fresh machine, you have newly bought a machine, or you've installed a software. It's accepted. The next step you also go. Oh, it's for registration and all. Leave it. Just close it. Now what? Go to that folder. Program file. This was the folder. If this Java would be of 32-bit version, then it would have been installed in this particular folder. 32-bit version get installed in x86, but 64-bit programs get installed in this if you have 64-bit operating system. Now see Java. This is Java. Look at the time. This is the time, the current time on which it is got installed, and double click it. JDK is there, bin is there. Now this is what we have to do. Bin folder contain, arrange with type. C, Java and Java C. These two are the files which we need every time. So we need to click it here or press Alt D. Alt D also takes you to the address bar here, and copy this. Right click, copy. And now go to the environment variable. Just write env, just a few letters of environment variable, and click there. Now go to environment variables. Now go to path, new, not here, here. Path is here, edit this path, and press a new and paste it here. Control V, press OK. Now this path contains this also. Read this. This is also there. Press OK. Press OK. Now Java is configured. This much only we have to do. Now, if you'll press Java C again here, it will again tell you this. So what you need to do, you need to first exit from this, and you need to restart the CMD. And yes, now when you'll do this, go to E drive, CD, Java, begin, what is the folder name? Java, opr.java. Now it will run. Now this is what I was telling you. This is what I was telling you. Look, cannot find symbol AOR. Yes. Now here comes data hiding, encapsulation. Here you will see this. Cannot find the symbol because in this particular class OPR, we don't have this function AOR. Mind it. What do we have? We don't have this function AOR in this class. So in which class this is? This is in class funds. So how can we call? Here comes the concept of data hiding. We learn, no? Data hiding is something that things of one class can be used in another class and all. So this is practical thing that is happening here with us also. We are trying to call this AOR, but this is not the property of this class. It's not part of this class. It's part of this class. And the content of this class cannot be easily used here. Okay, so how can it be used? Let us try to make this a main. Now, if you'll again compile using Java C opr dot Java, then this time this has no problem. Why so? This is because now I have given the reference of the class. Look at this. Means whenever you have to call a function of another class in any other class, then if you directly write the name of the function, then it is not going to work. In object-oriented programming, which we'll see later on, in object-oriented programming, we need to make objects of those classes. But since we are learning this procedural programming, where we do not need to create objects and all, and in such procedural programming, we need to create static functions. I'll tell more about what is a static function, but this time just see that these all are the static functions. So if you're calling any static function of one class in any other class, like here it is first class is this funds where these two functions are defined, and we want to call this function here. So what will happen? We need, this is a rule. This is a rule. If you want to call a static function of a different class in any other class, then we need to call it through its function, this fun.aor. And what will happen through this can be called, yes. And let us see this executing. Now Java OPR, press enter, area is 30. How it is working? As I said, this 5 is the actual parameter. Actual and formal parameters are there. Formal parameters, these are formal parameters. The parameters, or this, when we define a function, then when we write the number of arguments here, these are the formal parameters. And while calling a function, what actual data we provide it, this becomes the actual parameter. This 5 will transfer to L and 6 will be transferred to B. Now L into B, AR has 630, 5 into 630, and this is how it's printing out and return AR. So R has also got the value 30. But this output is because of this line that we have written. Now we can also use this system.out.println value of R. You need to put it within the double quotation because this is just a message, and then the value of R. Little bit of separators for a better output. Save it, come back again. Let's clear the screen first. So Java C opr.java, and one more thing I would like to show you, that in this case we have two classes, this one and OPR, and I suggested you, although it's just a suggestion, you can write any class name, but it's a suggestion that in whichever class main function is there, give the file name that class name. And yes, one more thing, we can have main function in all the classes, means function fun class may also have the main function in it. So no matter, any class name you can give, but what happens when it is successfully compiled, it makes two classes, the dot class file, two dot class files are made. One will be made with this name fun.class and another opr.class. And while executing, we have to, once it is compiled now just run it. OPR has the main function, so don't write .java, just simply this. Now area is 30 and value is 30. What is happening? This area of 30 is because of this. After returning the value of AR, now this value has got returned to R. Now this line is being executed. Oh, this is working. So the same way, let us call this SI function also. This time it is a float. So float interest I equals what? SI and then give the value. Like we have some deposited this much amount at the rate of 12.3%. You don't have to give percent symbol, then it will become a different data type. Okay, just simply 12.3 since it is a float and it is a 3 years. Okay, fine. Now here you see we have not used system.out.println, simply return. So whatever the value of this will be, actually this is the actual parameter. The value 5600 will be transferred to P, R will be 12.3 and T will be 3. And using this formula, the calculation will be done, will be sent to this variable, the equal variable this, and the whatever the variable this variable is will be transferred to this I. Now use the same statement, copy it, paste it, and then press here I. So now let us run this. Oh, some problem is there. What's the problem? Error, cannot find symbol SI. Oh, the same problem. No issue. Just funds.si. Good that errors are occurring so that we could understand the time to understand it. Another problem. No issue again. Possibly loss. Okay. The thing which we have learned in our last classes, we need to put F just to forcefully say that this is float data type, or use double data type. But double will take 8 byte, float will take 4 byte only. So putting a F can resolve your issue. This. So errors let us learn new things. So let the error come. That's a good thing. So here we learned a lot of things. And let us first see how it is. No, okay. So this is enough. So thank you, dear students, for this class. We'll see more about this program in our next class. So keep watching this video, and the main thing is you need to practice. If you'll not practice, nobody can teach you this. So practice hard and practice more and more times. Watch this video any number of times you can. It takes you to understand. Thank you. See you in the next class.